player's name will be 2. Yes, player Rainbow Dash.
Mister Dictator, this player requests a name change to player 3.
Player Rainbow Dash will now be known as player 4. Yes, player 4.
Mister Dictator, this player requests a name change to player 1. Because this player likes player 1.
For all future reference, Mr. Dictators will also be referred to as player 1. Yes, player Pseudo.
Mr. Dictator, player Pseudo requests a name change to player 6400.
Name change denied. Yes, morning.
Mr. Dictator, may morning address Mr. Dictator as the inventor.
Yes, this is permissible. Yes, player 4.
Mister Dictator, this player requests a name change to Doctor Who's.
Name change acknowledged. Doctor Who's now has the silent football and play will commence. Pause while the universe resets. Mr. Dictator now has the silent football by default. The previous silent football has disappeared into the space-time vortex. Yes, player nothing.
Mr. Dictator, this player would like to point out that player 4 incorrectly shortened.
What has player 4 to say to these allegations?
Mr. Dictator, this player is not known as player 4, but rather Doctor Who's. Therefore, there are no correct allegations towards this player.
1/2 penance point to player Doctor Who's for incorrectly Schrodeming, on the condition that player Doctor Who's requires that player nothing exact some sort of punishment upon himself. 1/2 point penance point to the inventor for using the personal pronoun quote himself unquote. Yes, player Doctor Who's.
Mr. Dictator, this player would like to know whether when Mr. Dictator said the universe has reset, if all penance points have also reset.
All penance points have not reset. Player nothing for the blatant disregard to the Doctor Who's holy name. Yes, player morning.
Inventor, it has come to my attention that player nothing and player 2 have merged into seemingly one player.
Okay, as Mr. Dictator is acutely aware that player OTP over 2 is somewhat alone, player OTP over 2 shall live up to his name and go sit on 2. If player OTP over 2 so desires. Because player OTP over 2 looks so lonely and adorable.
Player OTP over 2 needs a hug.
Player Doctor Who's.
Mr. Dictator, this player requests a name change for OTP to Shakespeare's Willie.
Is player OTP okay with this name change? Name change accepted. Player nothing. The answer to this question is yes. Player 2.
Mr. Dictator, player 2 has not merged with the player to player 2. One space to player 2's right. Player 2 is simply getting tired of crouching.
Mr. Dictator would like to alternately phrase this as player 2 has merged with nobody. Yes, player morning.
Mr. Dictator, player morning would like to suggest that
Yes, player only.
Mr. Dictator, this player perceives that would be detrimental to the game, as it would remove.
Inventor, morning would like to suggest that nobody and player 2 become one player. Known as Dawn.
What says Doctor Who to this?
Mr. Mr. Dictator, Dr. Hooves would request a name change for player 2 to 2 players.
Player pseudo.
Mr. Dictator, player Pseudo believes it would be extremely hilarious if Mr. Dictator put 2 crackers in Mr. Dictator's mouth and imitated him duck.
Mr. Dictator believes that he can do better than that.
Red Scare concurs.
Yes, Morty.
Mr. Dictator, Morty would like to ask if the universe could be temporarily disbanded, so Morty could ask a question.
The universe is temporarily disbanded.
Would you like to buy a duck?
Wait.
The universe is now in session. Yes, player Morty.
Tin Vendor. Morty would like to acknowledge that player Red Scare spoke out of turn.
Ooh, Red Scare. What has Red Scare to say for Red Scare's sake?
Red Scare claims that this is baseless allegations and I will have your head on a pike.
What the?
Mr. Dictator, Morning would like to acknowledge that player Red Scare, when referring to Morning, used the most heinous pronoun, quote,
yes.
your, unquote.
In the
While
phrase, quote,
threatening
your
Morty.
head on a pike.
Yes.
Yes, that never quite got settled, did it? What does Red Scare have to say?
Red Scare denies all statements.
What does player Morning have to say?
Mr. Dictator, it is impossible for player Red Scare to deny these statements, as Mr. Dictator himself, Mr. Dictator, also remembers player Red Scare's quote.
Player Red Scare.
Player Red Scare does not deny the statements. Player Red Scare denies the existence of the player known as Morning, as Morning is neither food nor proto.
Contrary as
Player Red Scare also continues to ask that such hallucinations be disregarded as such,
player.
causing all allegations to drop.
I don't know much of you.
The universe is temporarily disbanded.
Wait, just a second. I have to leave.